Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Where am I? I'm at Rock Creek Farms up north of Denver. They have a pumpkin patch where you drive out and you can pick some pumpkins. The crop seems a little underwhelming so far, but we're gonna keep searching for something good. I'll show you what I pick up later. However, today's show we're gonna be looking at a cool, very unique, very flat phonograph that I was recently gifted from Kurt at Kurt78rpm.com. We did that whole tour. Nauck's Auctions is a fantastic, fantastic operation. So anyhow, let's check this out. You're not going to want to miss this. Like, there are decent ones in here, but then you got those ones. So here's what we came up with. 4 pumpkins for 4 people. They're pretty good. We had to get a little creative, but one of the tricks I like is people put their rejects on the side of the road, and they've already done the hard work, right? They've gone out there in the field, scoured the rotten ones and the tiny ones and the weird ones and the small ones, and they've so kindly deposited them right on the side of the road for us. Although we did go out there probably about a half mile, picked a few good ones, or saw a few good ones, picked 1 or 2, and then got a couple from the side here. You gotta work smart, guys, not just hard. I'm definitely a sucker for fall. I love fall. As Jim Gaffigan says, it's my favorite season. Anyway, I want to say a huge thank you to Kurt Nauck, who gave us that amazing tour of his underground lair of 78 RPM goodness. And he gave us a phonograph. Yes, this is an actual phonograph, not just a record, but an actual phonograph. And as you can see by my playfully teasing thumbnail, it is completely flat. So, and everything you need to play the record is in here. Like, there's no external part, there's no external motor, some red stick thing. I think I know what that's for. I have not opened this up yet. To put it in some level of scale, here is a 12-inch record by comparison. So this is a 12-inch LP record, and as you can see, it's pretty sizable. Like, if I were to see a picture of this with no scale or context, I would say, oh yeah, it's probably like a little 3x5 thing, but no, it is not. This is the Magic Phonograph and Record. Plays a complete record for teaching the alphabet. Look at the artwork there, very cool. This package contains a phonograph and record learning the alphabet with a story and coloring book. See directions on back of the package. There's a little free preview. Starting to get the idea. Interesting. So actually plays a long playing record, loud and clear. It talks. It gives the directions there. And here's the other titles available. This is made by the Barker Book and Toy Company of Cincinnati, Ohio. Copyright 1955. That is so cool. All right, my friends, we're going to figure out how this works. Okay, I'll put the gourds and the Indian corn away. It says we just need to open the lid so that the edge rests on the record, and then we are the motor. So we're going to insert a pencil or the stylus applied. Interesting to see the word stylus used on something, this old. And we just rotate. A little practice makes perfect. All right, let's see how. I'm very curious. Does the whole thing slide out? Okay, so it slides out. Like I said, I have not toyed with this. No pun intended. This is just like a card envelope, okay? Here is the said stylus, a little red piece of plastic. And it does have a record in here. This is the record itself. The Magic Phonograph, Teaching the Alphabet. Coronet Greeting Card Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. And look at the runout groove. You can actually see, it says Alphabet Part 2. This is Dusty. It's all right. We're going to play it Dusty. And then on this side, Alphabet Part 1. That is so cool. And then what do we got here? Is this the instruction sheet or is this a coloring book? This is a huge gift. I could not believe that Kurt just handed us this. He's like, here, a little memento of your time. So these are a little bit more instructions about, how we should go about playing it. Look at the This is probably not acid-free paper, and you can kind of see how a little bit of oxygen and sun exposure has probably done that in. Okay, so here this is. Oh, this is so cool. So look at the edge of this card. There's the stylus right there. It's just a little point of metal that's embedded into the cardboard. The magic phonograph and record. The clarity and tone of this phonograph are best when the record is turned at a uniform rate of speed. And that looks like an almost green piece of plastic, like a dark greenish. Yeah, that's definitely not black. And then it says turn to the right. And this, oh, this is like a coloring book. This is incredible, guys. That this not only is in functioning condition, but that it was unused. Like, nobody's used this. You know what I mean? Usually kids stuff is so worn out. So clearly this was never given to anybody. It just, stayed on the shelf. So let's do what it says. I'll put the record on. So we get part 1. Okay. That doesn't feel right. I feel like it's missing a hub or something that should be on top of that. Maybe that's all there is to it. Let me look and see if I'm missing a part. Okay, I have to admit, I did go back to the instructions, and they were helpful. They were actually really helpful. Also, it says some models come with a little piece of plastic right there, which ours doesn't. It also said that sometimes these creases can become stiff, which may cause the record to skip a little bit. So just to kind of loosen it up a little bit, if that seems to be the case. I don't want to go to town too much because I don't want this thing to break on me. It's an antique, but we've got everything we need. So I had a stack of records besides this one that I wanted to play as a test. However, it turns out that this is a special record. This is not a normal record. Can you spot the uniqueness of this record? There's something unlike a normal record. What is it? It is this little hole right there by the end of her ponytail. That little hole that you might be able to see through right there happens to be the secret sauce to getting this to work. This is just a piece of I don't know, some kind of slippery plastic, relatively slippery plastic. And the stylus turns out to be wood, not plastic. Of course it's wood. What am I thinking? It's the 1950s. Nothing's made out of plastic. All right. All we got to do is put the stylus at the beginning. And it will, because the stylus is attached to this cardstock, it will literally translate the modulation and the grooves into vibrations. Are not going to be high fidelity. It's no stereo or anything. But it should be audible. It should be audible. So let me switch to my front-facing microphone, and we'll get a little closer shot, and we'll play this record by hand. I guess I can't say this one isn't a toy. I usually don't like it when people say, oh, a record player's a toy. But this one literally says, it's a talking toy, so I can't argue. Okay, so we're going to put this right at the beginning, and we are going to try and keep a steady pace. Here we go. Kind of stiff. Well, kind of hard.
We will have a lot of fun while you learn the names of different animals and their names. Seals for the terrible with 2 humps of body.
This takes a lot of force, and I'm going to rotate it to make my hand kind of in a better angle for not hitting that. This is not as slippery as you would think. It takes a lot of force. It says if you lose this, by the way, you can use a pencil, but all right, here we go.
That goes even eagle, a mighty bird is leaving. As for the fox, as smart as he can be, slow worm, lighting up most everything. Then he's red. Jay looks round again. Kitten playing with a piece of string. L is for the lark, welding. M is for whirl would blow. N is for blow.
Wow, that was the hardest record I've ever played. That must have been like a 45-second side. That's amazing, but it works. And, you know, surprisingly, it isn't carving up this record. This is a pretty thick record, by the way. It's a pretty stiff record. This is no flimsy record. All right, we're going to see if we can endure side 2. Oh, it's cupped a little bit. That's actually good. So it's bowled a little bit like this. So it's a little high centered on this side. It should rotate a little bit easier for me. I'm not very good, as you can tell, at getting the sound steady. I can barely hear what they're saying. Look at the angle, by the way, the rake angle, as it were, of that stylus. Okay. I was hoping to do this with different records. I brought a bunch of kids' records, but obviously without that little, I mean, you could destroy your other records and put a hole in there, but I'm not going to do that. So you really would need to collect the other records or the other titles in the set. This is similar in a weird way. This is almost similar. It reminds me to like those greeting cards with a little tiny speaker built in, and they play a little bit of a song or audio clip that you record. It's kind of along that same line, it seems like. Okay, this should play a little easier.
So you can save them when I'm through. Also, please for the pie when your lunch is due. Me, a busy on a horse, which is to ride, feeling useful things for the kid that is okay.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I'm not good at this at all. This is good for Halloween. Okay, so I was editing, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm missing a vital opportunity here. So we're going to spin this at 78 RPM steadily so we can hear how good this possibly could have sounded.
Would you like to learn the alphabet with me? You would? Now you listen carefully and we'll have a lot of fun while you listen to different animals and things at a time. Here we go.
Pitch adjust. I feel like that's just a little bit too slow. Let's try that again. Oh boy.
C is for the camel with 2 humps upon its back. D is for the duck that goes quack, quack, quack. The eagle, a mighty bird is he, as smart as he can be. G is for him, lighting up most everything. H is for in the circus ring. I is for the ponies live. J.
Now, I feel like I am indeed carving that up a little bit. So, that was interesting. Now let's play it with the tone arm here.
Would you like to learn the alphabet with me? You would? Good. Now you listen carefully.
This is a lot lighter, so I think that it's not dragging it down, so the pitch is higher.
All at the same time. Here goes. A is for the apple that hangs upon a tree. B is for the bird that sings for you and me. C is for the camel with 2 humps upon its back. D is for the duck that goes quack, quack, quack.
That is the coolest thing, though, is it not? That is just very, very cool. On a rainy day, I might just pull this out and see if I can get good at, you know, timing it out, and maybe we'll revisit this another day. A huge thank you to Kurt Nauck for this gift. I didn't know these even existed, so this is super interesting to me. And a fascinating, fascinating gift. I'm very thankful for it. What a piece of recorded sound history. This is just super, super neat. This might be a better thumbnail than the one I was thinking, actually. Sometimes people plan their thumbnails right during their, like, made up of some composition during the video. That's pretty interesting. So we'll have to see. You'll already know by the time you're watching this which thumbnail I went with, either me holding the thing looking flat or this kind of intriguing look right here. Have you ever heard of this? Do you have one of these? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. But my friends, that is going to do it for today. Thank you so much for being there each and every day this month as we do Vlogtober. Thank you for putting up with my Halloween and fall festival fun. I can't say that there won't be more, but there will be more. I can say there will, and I am going to say there will. There will be more. But that's going to do it for tonight, guys. Happy record ending. See you next time.